Good morning, everybody. Myself, Acharya Vishvendra. Today, I'll discuss about optimal physics for NEET, JEE-main, and JEE Advanced. So, the first thing is content. So, the content comprising of pattern-based video lectures. Second important point regarding optimal physics is that it includes NCRT and PYQs. Third point is it's a gradual learning through worksheet. It's based on psychologically designed mental patterns. And you can search my name, Acharya Vishvendra, on Google, Amazon, Flipkart, Notion Press, YouTube, Twitter, your Instagram. I am into the education sector since about 15 years, and I have been a physics faculty member at reputed institutions of Kota and Delhi, and I'm also an author. I have published till now my 215 books have been published through Notion Press. I made them published, and I have written on physics, chemistry, maths, metaphysics, neuroscience, education, psychology, uh, in multiple spiritualism itself. So you can search my name on Amazon, Acharya Vishwant, and you can see the work that I have done. So because of that, I have designed this optimal physics for optimal results in JEE and NEET. As you must be knowing that competition is increasing day by day, and if you start with the diverging study plans, then what happens is that most of the students are not able to make use of that diverging efforts that they made during their preparation. As an impact of it, they study a lot, they try a lot, they work a lot, but when exam comes, they are unable to focus on the specific task, specific topics, or specific situations given in the questions. So there is where the role of optimal physics comes, because we'll just train your mind brain system to perform optimally, to optimize your thinking process, to optimize your mind brain algorithm, so that your performance is optimized. So optimal physics is not about teaching you physics. Teaching physics is a different things. There are many people who know physics better than me. In a way, very better. They have tremendous knowledge. They can, you know, maybe they have that knowledge which is not accessible to the world till now. They may be hundreds of years ago from now. So optimal physics is not about teaching the physics. It's about teaching you how to perform optimally in exam using physics or particularly for the physics. And the mind training program that you receive, you can use them for optimal performance in other subjects also. So it's an overall performance booster for competitive exams. So optimal physics is not just about learning physics, learning laws, implementing things, learning the subjects. It's also about managing your mind brain system. It's about optimizing your mind brain system so that you can perform optimally in exams. And if you are preparing for JEE or NEET, in both streams, I feel physics is the most challenging because it involves multiple parts of the brain. It uses analysis as done in mathematics. In fact, 95% of the questions are pure mathematics. They involve calculations, the good questions. 5% is physics, which uses your memory, your thinking capacity, your analysis. But there is an involvement of emotional factor also, because when you perform uh, a task which involves multiple parts of the brain, so certainly there is a frequency mismatch, and you will find a bit change in yourself. So your thoughts will not be stable, your thinking pattern will switch randomly, and if you are not adaptive to that switching, so then you will face anxiety, depression, negative feelings, low feelings, and ultimately, if you are unable to cope up with that emotional conflict, then your entire preparation will turn against you. You tried a lot, you learned a lot, you spent certain hours learning something, but if there exist emotional conflicts or emotional disturbances, then you will not be able to convert your efforts into the results. So that's why optimal physics is introduced, which is the vision behind optimal physics, so that you prepare in actual exam requirement. You only prepare, you only practice those frequencies which are of use for getting results in the exam, rather than thinking divergingly, thinking out of the box, doing this and that, trying to contemplate the laws of nature, how it works, trying to think beyond space time curve, trying to think what exists beyond quantum fields. Thinking about these out of box thinking in a free time is a different thing. Being a philosopher is a different thing, but cracking a competitive exam is a different thing. So I just developed optimal physics with the vision so that you prepare in a verified or in a customized way which is optimized for performance. Discussing is a different thing. You can discuss endlessly on any given topic in your entire life. Even then, you will not be able to find what actually is the topic. Will not be able to find anything in its interiority, because if you go into the depth, then it's like gates after gates, and knowledge after knowledge after knowledge after knowledge. It's like you have entered into a field which is diverging in itself, and more you went in, more you feel that you know nothing. So it's a very you can say that very catastrophic situation in which you are unable to come to the conclusion, because jee-neet are time bound test. So you just need to think optimally, so that you can you can maximize your answers. So here is the key, that will give you a training program which is optimized in all the aspects, and it's neither very low thinking and it's neither too high thinking. It's the mediocre thinking which is actually needed to perform optimally in life or optimally in these competitive exams. So that is concept behind optimal physics. So as I explained, it's based on the concept of optimal performance, then customized mind training programs, then it's a psychologically designed patterns. Let's analyze that with the help of a pattern card. So this is a pattern card for the topic of acceleration. So in pattern card, we just discuss the various terms, the optimal terms related to a particular topic and its basic formulas, its applications, and its relation to the various parameters, so that you can complete a topic at a place and can know how to interrelate it to other topics. So that develops your neural system, and that makes your thoughts stable, that makes your that helps you to develop a neural pattern connecting the various terms, connecting the various facts, connecting the various physical quantities. So let's begin. So suppose at t is equal to 0, the car is moving with a velocity v1, and after a certain time it has a velocity v2. So here is the concept. Average acceleration is defined as change in velocity per unit time. The first thing, if you need to find acceleration in average vector form, so you just apply vector. And here the situation will be, this is initial velocity vector, this is final velocity vector. The acceleration vector is change in velocity per unit time, and change in velocity can be written as v final minus v initial by t final minus t initial. Then we have concept of instantaneous acceleration, which is dv by dt, which is acceleration at an instant. At an instant means when delta t tends to 0, the time interval is very, 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 very small. So this expression becomes the differentiation, or the differentiation of velocity. There is another important application, that at is equals to dv by dt, which is tan theta, which is minus tan alpha, which is slope of velocity time graph. So you can also assume that if velocity time graph is given, then at a certain point, if you draw tangent, and tangent makes an angle theta and alpha with the t axis, then tangential acceleration is either tan alpha or minus of tan alpha, either tan theta or minus of tan alpha. So you can remember it like in anti-clockwise sense, take that as positive, and in clockwise sense, take that as negative. So that is how you can find instantaneous acceleration from the velocity time graph. Another application is you can find the instantaneous acceleration as dv by dt, which can also be related as d by dt of velocity can be written as the differentiation of the position vector dr by dt. So it can be simplified as d square r by dt square, which is double derivative of position vector with respect to time. So acceleration can also be defined in this way. Similarly, if we use coordinates in place of position vector, then at can be written as dv by dt, which is d by dt of dx by dt, which is second derivative of, let's say, x coordinate. So if it is along x-axis, you use x coordinate. If it is along y-axis, you use y coordinate. And if it is along z-axis, you use z coordinate. So in this way, you can find instantaneous acceleration when coordinates are given. So in this way. Next is force is equal to mass into acceleration when mass is constant. So acceleration is ultimately related to the force acting on a body for constant mass. So in this way you can use it also. Next important application, if you are being given a graph of acceleration versus time and you need to find final velocity, then you use this equation v is u plus integration dt. And integration dt means area under acceleration time graph with proper sign. And the sign means acceleration positive, area will be taken as positive. And if acceleration is negative, area will be taken as negative. So as per this graph is concerned, we can say that v is equals to u plus a1 minus a2 plus a3, or v is equal to u plus area under acceleration time graph. So this is how you can use acceleration in 8 different ways. In ninth way, suppose xt graph is given. So here the concept is that if the curve is concave downward, then acceleration will be negative, and if it is concave upward, then acceleration will be positive. And if there is a point which is between positive and negative acceleration, then it has to be zero. So in this case, we can say that acceleration at 1 and 2 will be negative, at 3 will be 0, at 4 and 5 it will be positive, at 6 will be 0. So it's just like how to use acceleration in different formats. So I have tried my best to connect acceleration from all the chapters of physics at one point. So in this way, we use the concept of pattern cards or the topic cards, so that related to a particular topic, we discuss all the aspects of that particular topic, its definition, its basic formula, its connecting formulas, its applications, its graph, its differentiation form, its integral form, its graphical form. So it's a way of optimizing your preparation so that you prepare in a time bounded manner and are able to get an optimal idea of the topic, and you can solve questions from that topic across different chapters using a single pattern card. So that is concept behind optimal physics, and pattern card is one of the characteristic of optimal physics, and which is developed with the vision to optimize your score and cracking jee-neet with flying colors. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the doubt section. Thank you and have a nice day.